Okay, so let's see here. Malik Jacobs, you asked, do you think if it came down to it, more white people will stand up against their own racist counterparts? I think that, first of all, this is one of the first times that white people have literally had to kind of be on the front lines of change for minority people groups. And there is nuance to thinking like a part of a collective that is the minority. The first time that white people kind of woke up and began to speak out about racial injustice was Emmett Till, 1955. If you don't know that story, I encourage you to go to Google and Google it, but it's a well-known story. Essentially, a 14-year-old boy was found murdered in the river because he whistled at a white woman, right? Due to his mother opting to have an open casket and showing the damage that was done to her son, a lot of white people were able to see just how bad it was. Like, it's one thing for me to be able to say, you know, that, oh, I was brutalized. It's another thing for me to show you the pictures of disfiguration of a child by a mob of grown men, right? So that sparked outrage, so much so that you had an Ivy League school, I do believe it was Princeton, who signed a petition and had a whole demonstration because of the outcome of that trial, which was essentially that everybody got off, okay? So now you fast forward it. You have George Floyd that happened, right? Now white people in a more modern sense have become exposed and aware to the travesty that happens and the injustice that happens to minority people groups, specifically in those two cases, to Black people. But not only were they aware, they saw it. It was recorded. And so the difference when it comes down to being able to stand up against their own racist counterparts is that you have to be okay losing something. It's one thing for you to be able to say, hey, I speak out, that's that. It's another thing for you to actually be able to speak out and stand in the gap, knowing that you may lose something. And that's something that those that were a part of the bus boycotts, those that were part of the Freedom Riders, those that did the sit-ins at these cafes and at these restaurants during the civil rights movement, they were told up front, you're going to be brutalized. You may lose your life. You may be disfigured. So those that went to go and sit there knew that they were going to lose something. I don't know if a lot of white people are willing to pay the price for standing in the gap for another people group. The thing about Black people specifically is that we don't think about what we're going to lose first. We don't think about the backlash first when it comes down to standing up for injustices. We don't think about how are we going to protect kind of our own. And it's because we're fighting for our own for the most part. And even when we're fighting for others, right? That's why when you see Black people that are standing up for somebody or speaking out for somebody, the first thing that crosses our mind is the fact that this is wrong.
Hey, what's up, folks? How you doing? I hope you're doing super great from wherever you're watching us from. Now, there's that one kid in class. And this kid is often ignored by, the teachers. They don't see anything significant from him. They don't see the potential that he has. What they see, they just see a kid, right? While they are favoring other kids, thinking that they are great, they are bright, they can do other things. And then one day they just decide to give this one kid an opportunity, and they see the talent this kid has. And then they start asking, how can we help you, right? It's not helping the kid. It's about what they'll benefit from the kid, from the talent that the kid has. I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about Black folks. White people right now are asking Black people, how can we help you win this fight? How can we help you? How can we make it right? Because historically, our ancestors, some of us, did something wrong to you and we want to make it right. Do you think it's genuine? For me, I think it's because they are saying something about the Black voice. Because you know very well that they are supposed to be going out very soon for the protests, right? And so they need a way to emotionally appeal to you to show you that they are sorry for the atrocities, for the things that happened. Whereas it doesn't seem to be that. That one student who was ignored by the teacher, they didn't give him a chance. They didn't even give him a chance to always express himself. And the student, at the back of his mind, also came to think that indeed, maybe I'm not great, until he had the chance to prove themselves. And this is a perfect example with black people. Black people, for the longest time, some of us, even back here in Africa and some in the United States, have, grown knowing that there is nothing great about black people. It is because we were not even given a chance to see the true potential of us. We were not given a chance to understand and learn history. We're not given a chance to understand the black history. And that's the most important thing that we had to know. And I'm happy that black folks are reclaiming that. Black folks are standing on business. Black folks know really what they want right now. They know when to keep quiet, like what they're doing right now. They know when to leave a scene, like what they're doing right now, right? They know that it's not their fight, and they know that they're not going to engage anything. That's power. For me, I'll say that's power. Knowing when to leave a fight that's not yours, that's powerful. That's for me. So I want us to watch this video. It's more of historical. The sisters that are going to be sharing their perspective in regards to historical things that have always been, used to keep white people ahead of black folks, while we black people thinking that it is for us all, right? So I want us to watch this video. For those who are watching us for the first time, I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel, join our membership. Really get to see what we can offer you. For those who are sharing, for those who are showing support on my channel through my Cash App, through my super thanks, just know that I highly appreciate the service that you're doing to me, because it's one of the most important things. Now let's watch the video. I'll be back and we'll have a chat about it.
It's not, oh man, I'm gonna get backlash for it. You see what I'm saying? And a great modern example of standing up for what's right and getting backlash is the CEO of Ben & Jerry's, right? So if I'm not mistaken, most recently, Ben & Jerry's CEO was let go because of the political stance that Ben & Jerry's was taking on social media. Are you willing to lose your job? Are you willing to be ostracized in your community? Are you willing to no longer be able to go to the country club? Are you willing to no longer be invited to those parties? Are you willing to no longer be welcome in those spaces? Are you willing to go into spaces where people are whispering about you because you're speaking bad about X, Y, and Z? You currently have an administration that is literally targeting people that are not in agreement and that are speaking out against this administration. They're targeting them legally. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to be uncomfortable? That is the question. And that's a question that I cannot answer. Because on one end, even with a lot of the legal battles that the current president is going through and has been through when he was not president, there were a lot of judges that should have pulled the trigger and put him away. They did not, right? There is no precedence for giving the type of leniency on sentencing after being convicted of 32 felonies. I have never seen it. Not, oh, I'm going to hold off until after the election. That has never happened. And so that's a question that I'm not able to really answer, because as a person of color, I stand up for justice immediately. And then whatever's lost is lost. But you have to understand that whatever is paid in the act of seeking justice for everyone yields return to everyone, because it changes the outcome of how future instances could occur, how future interactions can go about. Like, it's worth the payment. And black people everywhere can say that it's worth the payment. The payment that was paid during the civil rights movement has gotten us the rights that we have right now. But I'm not sure that white people would see it the same, because black people had to give up their families. We had to give up our homes. We had to give up our communities. And even sometimes we have to give up our life. So I don't know if they're willing to go that far, if they know that standing up against their racist counterparts would lead to that outcome. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So I have to respond to this, right? Because it gets deep. So she says, this is why they want to ban critical race theory. Their grandchildren are questioning the reasons behind the hate, and they can justify it now. These phones and apps put heat under them. And they did. This is what you have to understand. The very first conversations that came up about TikTok being a bad application was because of what TikTokers did. Y'all don't remember what y'all did to Trump? I wasn't even on the app at the time. Y'all don't remember? Let me remind you. He was having a rally. TikTokers bought up all the tickets. He showed up to the rally and there was no one there. That began the fight for proximity. Because only the TikTok algorithm was one of the social media apps that would allow for you to be found in spaces where you would otherwise never be. Not on Facebook, not on Instagram, because typically they do friends of friends. Right? So if you're doing friends of friends, then it's white people with white people for the most part and black people with black people. And every once in a while, you may have 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 that's not a part of that same ethnic group, but you don't have a full page that is curated by topic. It doesn't matter who's talking, but it's curated by topic. And now you found out about shea butter, and you found out about bonnets, and you found out about music, and you found out about food, and you found out about dance, and you find out about slang, and you find out about all of these other things that now raises empathy for people that aren't like you. Right? And so you have Frederick Douglass, I believe. Frederick Douglass said that if you want to hide information from a black person, put it in a book. Check it. The reason why he said put it in a book is because white folks read. They read a lot more than what black people could. And the reason why is just because there has been an attack on education for black people since the very beginning. Please perk up your ear. And the reason why is because since slavery, black people were never able to read. This is why Christianity is a problem if you don't read the book. You got to read the book. There is a reason why they would not let them read. Not even a Bible. You cannot read at all. Right? It's because the information that's hidden inside of the books causes you to have a higher level of consciousness and empathy. Check it. There is currently an assault on the books themselves. Mind you, if you want to hide information from blacks, you put it in books. If you want to hide it from white people, you have to delete the book. That's why you have all of these book bans. That's why you have the current administration that is currently scrubbing the internet, scrubbing historical articles. You literally got Good Sis that's literally in the building that's supposed to be documenting history, who is not documenting history accurately. Why? Because white people have begun to catch on. And they're no longer just reading what they're being told to read. So if we ban the books, then we can do what? Stop this generation from asking their ancestors, their parents, their grandparents, what's going on. This election divided the white household like never before. No Christmas, no Thanksgiving. People are going cold turkey. You can't talk to me. I'm not talking to you. No contact. As soon as they find out about their loved ones' votes. As soon as. And the reality is this. If you're black, you already knew that this was coming. Why? Because over 50% of white people voted for this man, whether it's women or men. It was over 50%. So that means that we knew that there was a lot of liberals that had a lot of their family members that was voting for this man. All right. Now, if we're talking about the assault on education, Tori, why is the assault on education important? Why is this whole reading thing important? What's going on with that? When you took a look at the outcome of the election, educated people voted for democracy. Educated people voted for the Democrats. Educated people voted for the Democrats. Education is still the great equalizer, whatever kind of education you get, because getting knowledge there's more than one way to get knowledge, but education is still the only thing that equalizes. And what you have to understand is that white people, wealthy white people, still like smart people. They still like smart people. The only way that non-smart people can be around, come on, Elon Musk, is if you have money. Only the wealthy can afford to be dumb. Hello? Once again, only the wealthy can afford to be dumb. And that's why we're dismantling the Department of Education, because this population of people are too educated. They're too empathetic. They're too adept at doing research. This is why you can't skirt and go the easy route for that education. You have to learn how to logically reason. And the reason why this is very important is because without it, you're going to be left behind, especially in this administration. Great comment. Tori, yes, yes. Yes, this literal whole Project 2025 movement, right? The whole political movement has everything to do with trying to control white people, with white women being number one at the top. Because when you think about abortion, as you said, the same with abortion, it was never to control our wombs, it was to control white women's wombs. Let's talk about population. White people, black people have accounted for 13 to 14% of the population for decades. Our population size has not increased. Okay. And that's partially because we also account for over 50% of the prison population, but I digress. Okay. When we're talking about Roe v. Wade happening, that was pushed by white women, not by women of color, not by black women at all. When you take a look at the abortion statistics, the population of people that have the most abortions are white women. This should not be a surprise because they are also the majority. But what have we been seeing happening? We saw the Republicans that are now trying to fight against abortion in a totally different way. At first, they were trying to tell people that, oh, people are killing babies at advanced stages of pregnancy, right? Like, oh, it's been 24 weeks, 32 weeks, and they're still having abortions X, Y, and Z. But they have been leaving out the fact that they also count miscarriages as a part of abortions. Pretty soon, this narrative didn't have the same chilling effect with voters as it once used to. So then what do? We take it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court then says that abortion is a states' rights situation. We're no longer going to govern and monitor that. Immediately, a bunch of states end up banning abortions out of the blue, right? Already had the legislation written up. As soon as that ruling came out, those states immediately sent into effect the abortion bans. What did that end up doing? It had a chilling effect to the medical field. Okay, so now you have doctors that are grossly afraid to do anything that has to do with abortion care, right? Which also includes miscarriage care. So now you have women that are dying, you have women that are getting sick, you have all of these increased high risk pregnancies and all this other thing, but medical people can't do anything about it because now they'll be sued. Now they'll lose their license, all this other stuff, right? Now on the flip side, they're also attacking white women legislatively because as soon as Trump ended up getting into office, all of a sudden, these red states started to put in these laws that will force everybody to have kids, no matter how they became pregnant, no matter their age. Specifically in Wisconsin, it was a really big deal. They were like, regardless of the fact, we want to make abortion illegal for anyone that ends up having an abortion. It does not matter if you have been sexually, if there was sexual misconduct. It doesn't matter if you've been raped. It doesn't matter if you are a child. Because that's how serious population control is for white nationalists. Why? Because as of 2016, the population for white people reached a point to where there was more white people dying than there were white people being born. And so now the white population is in a very rapid decline. In 2014, there were only 16 states where this was a fact. Now, well, in 2016, it became 26 states. How many more states have more white people dying than being born? It has always been about white people. The whole entire thing. This whole thing is their last hurrah to try to preserve the majority of the white race. Tori, listen.
Hey, what's up, you all? How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is a crucial moment where we need to sit back, go and reflect history, because it's there for us to dig the truth and know the truth. It is for us to get to understand what we think it's right and what we think it's not right, right? Because for the longest time, the United States itself will always try to sabotage the truth. They always try to make you not see the brighter side of everything that you're trying to do. And I think everyone is buried in other things that they're doing, especially teenagers. They are focusing on other things that probably are not important right now. But the most important things right now, like American politics and how all these things are, revealing itself to them. It's at that point that black teenagers, black youths need to know that the future of the future of the United States belongs to them. It is for them to right their wrongs by going and dig the history and look back to the things that happened. What will help them make the right decisions right now. Now, talking about white folks right now trying to ask black people, how can we help you, right? They're trying to do that right now. They're trying to ask them how they can help, right? So a couple of questions we would like to ask. And as much as black folks might need help, like we are not that much egoistic, I know, but at the same time, not every food that is presented to us, it's worth eating, right? So we also have that and put that into perspective. It's not to help black people. It's to put them at advantage time. I feel like all these, they are planning to just use you. And after they have achieved what they want, they'll leave you. They'll go back to where they were, right? And if you think I'm lying, get to look at this like this. For instance, when a black person participates in sports, entertainment, they'll call them, oh, you are American, right? You're American. And when they do the wrong thing, right, the backlash that they get, some even call them, you need to go back to, you need to go back to Africa. That's what they're being told, right? And so it is so sad at the same time to see the hypocrisy that sometimes are in these folks. Well, again, I like to make it right by saying that not all white folks are mean, right? But we have a group of people that are mean, right? So a couple of questions that we could ask ourselves is, first, you asking why you can help. Did you really help in the past? Why is it that it's important right now? Wasn't it important? Right? It's just like a person, after knowing that you have something valuable, that's when they want to follow you. But when you didn't have, they were not even dreaming about you. They were not even thinking about you. So that being said, my advice is just like, and I like that most of people are seeing it in that way. People don't need to fall for that trap, because they'll use different things. They'll try to emotionally appeal to you so that they can get your voice out there. And they know that your voice is so powerful because your voice was so instrumental when you talk about the civil rights movements. Your voice was so instrumental when you talk about the affirmative actions. Your voice was so instrumental when your voices fought for the education of the marginalized people, or the marginalized group of people in the United States, and later on it benefited other people rather than you. So they think that if again they put you under the same like loop, right, you are gonna use your voice to make them get what they want. Your voice will reach them where they want to go, and they leave you in the same state that you are today, right? And if you think that I'm lying, go check history. History says it all, right? So it is important for black people to ask things, right? Ask things critically. Why are you presenting this meal right now to me? I've been starving all along. I mean, what's different right now that you didn't give me before? So, I mean, a couple of questions that you could ask, it's including that one. So let's think of a situation where you have to survive by yourself, because for the longest time, black people of the United States specifically have been surviving by themselves without any support, right? The only support they got is from close friends, people that even majority of them are black. So that being said, we could confront this situation in different ways. Well, I know my opinion doesn't stand for every black person, but at the end of the day, I know very well that majority of black folks will agree with me that some fights are worth living. Some fights are not worth your effort. Some things, it's better off if you stay silent away from them, right? There is nothing that will take from you. So I felt that, and I see to it that it's important for us to always have these kinds of discussion. And I'll take this time to, invite you to tell me what you think in the comment section, because I believe what you're going to say, your opinions are also important and are counting. So that being said, I want to know, what do you think about this? If you're a black person, what do you think? Are you going to attend the protest on 5th of April? Share with me. Why will you go? For those who will not go, tell me why you'll not go. But especially, I'm interested for those who will go, right? I'm just interested in those who will go, because I know majority of black folks won't be going. So I'm just interested in those who will go, and what are the reasons to what's so compelling that will make them go. Otherwise, I'm proud of you all, my black folks, and I hope to see you when you're okay. Stay safe, stay put, stay in the house, stay vigilant, keep your eyes out, be careful, right? Because anything can also happen in the household, because they know that you didn't go to the protest, and now they might come for you in the house. So just be careful, be safe, and I hope everything will be okay. These are Presentation Tech Stories. I'm hoping to see you on my next video. But until then, peace, love, and harmony.